Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Ian. What's going on? What's up?
Oh, everything is coming to a head. So much going on in December, but for now we get to take a nice, relaxing break and drink deep of the standard Q&A.
Yes. Let's go ahead and just jump right on into it. We got nothing else going on, so here's the questions. Gonna get started off with this one from Red Wolf. What are your thoughts on adding more accessibility to Sonic games? I'm half blind and have always gotten the "you aren't a real Sonic fan then" card pulled when I say that I haven't managed to play the games due to there being no accessibility options that make them playable for me. Then I get, but that'll ruin the game for everyone for suggesting optional accessibility features. It's disappointing to love a franchise with a character like Sonic specifically who helps people and have no way to play due to a lack of options to help me play the games.
Yeah, the whole, you're not a real fan if you can't play it the original way. Screw you.
Pretty much, yes.
Get out of the fandom. You
Get
don't
out.
belong here.
Nope. Get out.
I don't care if you call it gatekeeping. Climb over the gate if you've got that kind of accessibility. Yeah, accessibility, I think, is kind of necessary going forward.
Absolutely.
And if you need some kind of accessibility option to enjoy the game, you can do it. If the other person doesn't need it, they can, not do it. That's why it's optional.
Exactly.
Now, I can understand, and this is not usually the argument, I'm giving it way too much benefit of the doubt, but if the argument is the core gameplay is made too broadly accessible, then there is no challenge. And there might be some merit to that. Not everyone plays professional sports because they don't have the skill to compete. And part of the joy, quote unquote, of games like Dark Souls is the insanely hard difficulty curve.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also people who want to enjoy the experience without the frustration. And unlike professional sports, in which these are jobs for people and they are part of a major competitive industry, this hobby you do on your free time in your own home is not under that level of scrutiny. So, in the case of a game like Dark Souls, if there is an easy mode, sure, those people can use it and they can play it and they can enjoy it. That does not negate your ability to play the standard mode and enjoy it yourself. Same thing with Sonic. I honestly have no idea how you would tackle a Sonic game with Red Wolf's particular accessibility needs. I don't know how you would do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the option should at least be investigated. And if that makes the game inherently easier, then Red Wolf gets that option and can enjoy the game. And I, who am just bad at games in general, can play it the default way and still fail, but that's fine, because that's on me. And you out there, Mr. Sonic Speedrunner, who can manage to do this stage in 30 seconds because you've memorized the map, guess what? That doesn't invalidate you. So, no, there is no legitimate reason for optional accessibility to not be on the table. Yes, it takes more time and definitely takes more resources, and some of these games would have to take some fair thinking about to get to work. I'm not saying it wouldn't be hard in some cases, but you're also broadening your audience and you're bringing joy and happiness to more people. The good PR spin off of we've made this game available to everyone is right there. Mm-hmm. And only the elitist curmudgeons are going to go, wah, that's not fair that they get to play the game and I have to play it the same way if I don't want to. What is even the logic of that? It's optional. If you're playing something like, I don't know, a fighting game or an action platformer where you have to hammer the button to open the door or something, that's kind of obnoxious to me in just a standard gameplay. Someone who has issues with their hands aren't going to be able to do it. So changing it, so, going to the options menu, toggling on one button press versus multi-press, and now they hold down the button to open that door. Wow. That has totally upended the artistic vision of the game. Bite me.
Yeah, no. Ableism. Yeah. Screw ableism. Anybody who wants to do that? No. Screw off.
Like, we're not saying make all games toddler friendly, easy to play as a default. Nobody's saying that.
No.
We're saying, you have the base game that the general populace can enjoy, and then you have accessibility options for those who can't physically do that.
Yes.
And, if you're worried about your precious spot in the leaderboards online or something, make two distinctions. Base gameplay leaderboard, accessibility leaderboard, whatever.
That's not even about leaderboards generally, because the people who play games like that, there's no leaderboards. It's just, bragging rights or whatever. They just want this smug superiority. Whatever. Yeah. Gamers, am I right? Ugh, the worst.
People.
Worst. The worst. Anyway, let's move on to this question here from Professor Rye. When Sonic spin dashes in a game, do you prefer his model to turn into an actual ball or just curl up like a weird tire?
I kind of like the weird tire. I feel like there's an actual thing in there, especially in classic Vector's case. He just becomes
I was gonna say Vector literally does turn into like just a tire.
Veritable Ouroboros.
Yeah, it's very strange, but I do kind of like it too. It's just weird, so weird. Yeah, I agree. An actual ball is kind of boring. Here's a question from Mike B. I know that nobody really ages in the Sonic franchise, but could Nicole potentially gather too much data and go into a rampant state like Cortana did in Halo 4?
Maybe. I mean, she is a program at her basis, so, she could stand to defragment every once in a while, I guess. The computer equivalency of Alzheimer's, I suppose.
Nah, she's got trim, man. She's an SSD. No need to defragment.
But I don't know, if there was ever a story about that, it would need to be, addressed and not drawn out. And we'd need to find a way that it wasn't just Cortana's rampancy, but with Sonic.
Yeah.
It needs to be Sonic-y in some way.
Of course. I mean, Nicole already went evil once. Why not do it again? Let's do it again. I like it. I like when the really nice, good characters go evil. That's fun. Here's a question from Celeste Orion. Do you, in your honest opinion, believe that a character like Shade stands a chance of being reintroduced in a game like Speed Battle or Dash?
Oh boy. I'll take loaded questions for 500, Alex. And that's not a dig at you, Celeste. I believe you're putting this out there legitimately in good faith. I personally don't think we'd ever see Shade or any of the Dark Chronicles things come up again. It's just too much of a liability. And man, there's so much more I could go into with that, but I really don't feel like dealing with the blowback from it. So no, I don't foresee her coming back anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't think that's not necessarily trying to discourage people from trying, at least. Making your voices heard, making it known that you still remember Shade. And that you don't want Sega to forget about her, but
oh sure.
I mean it's I agree with you. It's kind of like there's a lot of baggage attached to those characters.
I would be very, very happy to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please, by all means, if you want to see her back that much, campaign for her. I would love for someone to point out this episode, a year down the road and say, see, you were all doom and gloom and here she is and you're completely wrong. And I'll be like, yep, huzzah. I am glad. The fandom is greater for it. But that's just my opinion.
Yes, indeed. Maybe she can come back one day. One day. Here's one from Ian Waffles. Did you ever have an in-universe reason for why Sonic never just used the Master Emerald to go super to solve all the problems of the arcs after Enerjack Reborn? Like going super to confront Eggman or beat the Iron Queen? I would guess that like the Power Rings, wish-granting abilities, It is just something you need to suspend your disbelief on and ignore for the story as a whole to function.
More or less. There's also a question of the practicality of it. If Sonic is up against the wall right here and now, and Supersonic would be great, but he would have to escape and find a way all the way up to the island and transform and maintain power as he flies all the way back. And who is in peril during that transit? Are they, lost by the time he gets back? Going super off the Master Emerald is fairly easy, and we can't do that anymore. But there are some minutia that would make it semi-impractical, but yeah, for the most part, you've got it. It's just like, if you got that easy win button, you just kind of have to lose it, like your car keys every now and again.
All right, here's this question from Radri. You've said, Ian, in a couple of recent podcast episodes that Evan Stanley knows how to handle these characters in IDW. And you've also said that she knows how to work with the restrictions with them well, too. What makes you say all this?
Experience. I mean, I've worked with her on the Archie books for God, how long at this point? Years. She's done stories in the past, and we coordinated on the post-Metal Virus stuff and the post-Metal Virus stuff. So she knows Sonic.
Absolutely.
She knows how to write, and she knows how to draw. So yeah, she's proven herself multiple times over that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I'm just kind of wondering, I guess maybe he's kind of looking for specific examples. I don't know, though. But like you mentioned that she tends to handle Shadow a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for her, or like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of gossipy to say, oh, here's the stuff I know that Seka came back on and that she had to work with. It feels like, if I'm talking about my experience, that's one thing. If I'm talking about somebody else's experience, dang, that feels kind of gossipy to me.
Right.
I just know that she, had some of the same hurdles with Shadow as I did, and I feel like that she was able to handle it with a little more grace and tact than I was. And again, there's a few specific examples, but I feel like getting into it here is like I'm speaking for her.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, that doesn't sit well with me.
Well, with the 50th issue coming up, I think it's about time we got her back on again. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. We'd like to see Evan back on again. We'll reach out to her about that. Maybe, if she's interested. And our next question is from Gowzilla. Is Shadow the Hedgehog secretly the Highlander, or the Hedgelander? Is this the real reason he seeks out strong foes? Is he trying to claim the prize? Can there be only one Hedgehog?
Maybe. I mean, he does claim to be the ultimate.
Maybe he wants a sword, a fancy sword. I don't know why. He's a gun guy, I thought, but whatever.
Why does Sonic get to have the caliber and I want a sword? You did have a sword. That was Lancelot. That's not me. I want a sword. You shoot like lightning out of your hand, dude. It's a spear. I don't care. Okay, fine. You have a spear. I want a sword. Whatever, Shadow. Just go chew on some coffee beans.
Go have a sword. Take a sword. Yes. Hedgehog.
Go chew on the sword.
Now I want to hear Crush 40 cover Princes of the Universe. Man. That'd be a great song for him. All right, here's a question from Dick Dick. Has Cucky's name been officially changed to Clucky behind the scenes?
For English, yes. I don't know if it's still technically Cookie in Japanese because it translates a little differently. Or it sounds a little different. But yeah, English, it's Clucky. Yeah, it's Clucky.
Yeah. yeah. The meaning of that word has morphed a bit. So
that was one of the notes when I was doing the encyclopedia and I'm doing the research. I'm like, I could have sworn it was Clucky, but I'm finding a lot of official stuff saying Cucky. I'm going to put it in there, but I'm also going to flag it to say, are we sure this is what we're doing? It's like, no, it's Clucky in English. Like, thank you. Edit.
Poor bird guy named Cucky.
He's overshadowed by Flicky anyway.
Well, I mean, Flicky got his own game. Could you imagine if it were a Cucky game? Oh no. Oh no.
Well, I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because on the one hand, you either have a 3D blast on Cucky's Island,
Oh
or
no.
you have a lot of kerning issues with Flicky's Island.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, we had a little bit of that. Cucky's Island or this question.
If you ever wondered why the old Archie special had Flicky spelled with a lowercase I all the time, it's because of that kerning issue. And kerning, for if you don't know, is the spacing between letters in type font.
Yes.
And uppercase I without the top and bottom, as it's usually written, right next to an L, looks like a U real easy. So yeah,
It's like
that's why.
Yeah, it's like the L and the I in Netflix. Yeah. All right. Here's a question from Roughing the Passer. In IDW Sonic 35, cover A has a poster with Shadow promoting Chaos Soda. My question is, how did that sponsorship come about? Does Shadow like Chaos Soda? Was he in it for the money? Could they not afford Sonic? Is Chaos Soda a rival brand of some other soda brand that sponsors Sonic and they just want it to be different?
I think someone managed to get a paparazzi shot of Shadow and they just photoshopped it together.
Yeah, where do these brand deals come from? Like Tails being on billboards in Sonic Rivals, I think, or like even Sonic being in there. It's like, do they like license their likenesses? Are these just bootleg merchandise? Does anybody check this stuff? I mean, I guess there's no money, so there would be no reason for there to be any copyright laws.
Imagine the editor going, can we do this? He's going to be really mad if he finds out. It's like, he doesn't pay attention to media anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cut to Shadow walking through the city with his perpetual glare. Sees a billboard of himself with a cola. Slow pan in as his glare deepens, ominous music rising. Finally, cuts to him just saying, I'm thirsty.
Chaos Soda is 5-hour energy. Yeah, pretty much. And finally, our final question for this week comes to us courtesy of MSF.
You mean the final question before we take a break?
Final question before we take a break. Yes, that is correct.
Don't pull an Ian.
Maybe I'm in a hurry to finish this show. You don't know me. I got places to be, things to do, naps to take. All right, one more question before we take a break. This one from MSF. How do you pronounce Carotia or Carotia or Carosha?
I think he already went through all the options. Personally, I say Carotia because it starts to sound like carrot, which is the base word.
Carotia. Yes.
I think you can say it however you want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can say Sonic however you want to. Sanic, Sonic, Scenic, Kakarot. There we go. Kakarot. That's how you say Carotia. It's Kakarot. It's Kakarot. Anyway, I guess we're going to take a break now. Maybe I'll take a break forever.
Don't. I need someone to finish the show.
You can do it. I trust you. We are back. We have returned. And we have Vlad C. on deck with a question. So there's that infamous mandate on characters and their lack of parents, familiar relationships, unless it's pre-established like vanilla. But what about characters who only have it semi-established? Both Rouge and Zamam have mentioned their mothers on occasion in the games. Would IDW ever get to work on something like that?
Doubtful. I feel like a lot of the flavor text from the Deadly Six isn't really considered canon. I remember specifically there was a line where I had Zaz referred to Zavok as boss, because I remember in one of the boss fights you beat Zaz, and as in his death throes he goes, "The boss is going to beat me," and they go, he never calls him boss. I'm like, all right. So I'm willing to bet those are just considered gag lines. I don't know. I don't remember Rouge making a reference to her mother. This might be like obscure canon. So please comment in the video below and correct me on this. Tell me where this little bit of trivia comes from, because I'd love to go back and research it a bit.
All right. Sounds cool. Oh, it was in Sonic Chronicles, apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
and
then, yeah,
and
it's
and team
definitely
and Team Sonic Racing.
and Team Sonic Racing.
I guess that's what I'm getting here. Anyway, here's one from Xeric Studios. In the Mobius X years later timeline, a few characters had children, but their mothers weren't revealed. Unless this was something you would have eventually gotten around to revealing, who in your opinion were the mothers, or would you like to have been the mothers, to Argyle and Salma/Juanita?
Argyle's kind of tricky because Vector pre-reboot had like no game, none.
What? You
And
mean him bopping around in headphones all the time wasn't cool?
Given how the series treated Offspring, unless Argyle's got like a hidden twin sibling somewhere, I'm assuming that Vector got with another crocodile, and we'd have to invent a character for that. For Salma and Juanita, I think we were kind of playing with the idea of him and Lisa getting together, because we actually had some light plans for Lisa. Nothing like hardcore, more like subplot stuff in the background, but Aaliyah had done a concept design, and we had like the ideas for what it would be as like a B or C plot down the line. But beyond that, no, I don't think we had anything concrete.
Alrighty. Here's a question from just some guy online. Where was the Suppression Squad story going? Not related to Scourge or Fiona, but everyone else like Anti-Tails, Alicia, and Boomer. Where was their story going to go? What was Miles and Alicia's revenge on Mobius going to be?
I'd have to look at my old notes, but I don't know if we had anything planned out that far in advance, because we spent a lot of time with Anti-Mobius. And then the next thing we were going to look at, I think, was following up on Scourge and the Destructics escape after they escaped from Zone Jail, and following that thread to its conclusion. I like to plan things out well in advance, but I think even that was a bit too far out for me. So I don't remember having concrete plans for that crew.
Too far out, man. Too far out. Vincent J has a question. Since I assume there's little to no way of Sega allowing movie elements to be integrated into the comics, in this imaginary scenario, how would you approach and try to integrate Longclaw into the IDW continuity? This is obviously with the first step of redesigning her to fit the art style.
I think just treat her as, Sonic's adoptive mom, and she kind of does her own thing. She lives out in some forest somewhere. Let's just say Wood Zone. Why not? And, she raised Bebe Sonic, and he's super fast and super capable. And one day he set out on his own, and she knew he could handle it. Every once in a while, his travels bring her back to West Side Island. He's like, "What up, Mom?" She's like, "Oh, hi, Sonic. How are you?" "I beat up Eggman again." "That's nice, dear. Would you like a chili dog?" "Yeah, thanks." "Have you been okay?" "Yeah, I've been fine." "You don't need anything?" "No, I'm good. See you later." "Okay, bye." Boom, and he's gone. She knows that's his free spirit nature, and as long as he's safe and healthy, she's fine with it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that would work. Sure, why not? And we got a question here from Michael B. Not to be confused with Mike B from before the break. This is a different Michael B. Did Amy live in Knothole during the post-SGW timeline? Or had the Freedom Fighters already retaken Mobotropolis by the time she joined the team?
That is a good question. I don't remember what we had planned, if we had touched on that. I remember we were treating it a little closer to game standard, and that initially what I wanted it to be was that the Game Gear and Genesis era games were, young Sonic and the gang, and then Adventure Onward was modern stuff. So Sonic CD happened in the reboot universe. And I imagine it happened close to the game canon. I don't know if we would have folded in the Freedom Fighters or not. But where would Amy have been at that point? Maybe she was originally from Knothole or Mobotropolis or something. Maybe she did come back with them. I don't know. I don't really remember. But I think the intention was to have her be more with the group and less of a tacked on tag along like she was pre-reboot. So maybe she was around. I don't know. I'd have to dig up my old notes.
I'm receiving a question here for clarification that says Sonic Battle happened in that universe, so doesn't she have an apartment in Central City?
That's true, but maybe she moved.
Yeah, I guess. People do that sometimes. I don't know. Here's a question from Goosey T. Considering you had Supersonic and Super Silver beat out the Metal Virus, and Supersonic's fight against Enerjack and Archie Sonic the Hedgehog issue 184, does this mean that they are to some degree resistant to stuff that affects the body, like viruses, diseases, or simply stuff that manipulates molecules? From my understanding, that's sort of what the Metal Virus does, no?
Yeah, the super forms are nigh invulnerable. And the handful of times they have been hurt in the games, I call shenanigans. That's bad. The whole point of a supersonic fight is to be invulnerable. Dagnabbit.
What about when they fall down a pit? A bottomless pit, and they're gone forever. But they can fly, so, Or they're supposed to be able to fly, but...
Yeah, but no,
that's a gameplay mechanic.
The super forms are super resilient down to the molecular level.
And when they get crushed, they just flatten out and then poof, pop right back up. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Sure, that's fine.
Crushing damage versus piercing damage.
Yes. D&D rules.
Oh. And you have to say that the concussive blast of a missile isn't the same as the crushing force of a block, but...
All right, Darkness Rising 24 has a question. Since Evan technically created Gold the Tenric, would it be possible to bring her back in IDW?
No, and this is my understanding of things, so grain of salt. But Evan and I came onto the Archie books, we signed our contracts, so everything was done as freelance work for Archie and the licensor Sega. And I guess in that regard, Sega should have access to Gold. But then we get into the point where Sega doesn't really want us using older material, and Archie in general is kind of a sore spot. So they probably don't want us referencing any of it, even the safe stuff, at least for now. So I don't think she's accessible on like 2 levels. I don't know. It's the whole ownership and rights thing is weird and complicated.
And broken, because our copyright laws are woefully out of date.
I guess, is it possible? Technically. Is it likely? Less so.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly more likely than some other characters, but still, that's not saying much. Here's a question from Taryn H. In the Letter Squad section of Bad Guys number 4, the editor writes, "It's important that all genders are equally represented across all types of characters." This struck me as a deliberate word choice. Do you think there is potential for an explicitly non-binary character to be included in the story in the future? Thanks and have a great day.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it to it. I mean, at least one. It doesn't even have to be like a thing. It's just they are there. They are there. They exist. Cool.
That would be my sticking point, is that let them be something other than here's our non-binary character, here's the token placement, look and behold at our new OC and how woke we be. If they whatever that character is, whoever they are, and what do they bring to the story, and then among the list of attributes is they're non-binary. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, people already think you're woke for putting in Tangle and Whisper. It's like, okay. I mean, the certain aspects of their characters are not really explored on the page. So shut up.
Now, here's the funny thing with Tangle and Whisper is that when they were introduced, they were completely separate entities in my mind.
Right.
You know, they were filling individual niches, and then when we had the opportunity for the mini series, it was like these two are really standout popular, but not enough to carry a book by themselves. Come up with a story to put them together. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I mean, they've already been so hyped up. That seems like a neat way to do it. And their friendship was the, through line of that miniseries. And people just got real invested in that friendship. And the dominant voice in the fandom has been that they should be a little more than friends, don't you know? And it's like, okay, that's fine with me. I mean, I could see that friendship growing in that direction. That works with me. And then Sega's like, yeah, we don't want you focusing on NA relationships in the immediate future. Not even Sonic and Amy. Let that just kind of be understood. And it's like, all right, we'll see how long that lasts. But the minute that they kind of push another Sonic Amy thing, it's like, okay, the blinders are off. Relationships are back on the table. Let's go. Let's not dance around this anymore, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And we got one here from Pidgeot Tamer. Okay, I've been sleeping on this one for long enough. Who would win in a fight? Fang the sniper or the sniper awoo?
I'd like to think that Whisper would ultimately win because the variable Wispon gives her so many more options at her disposal.
Yeah. Also,
But
good triumphs over evil, so.
Yeah. But it would still be a heck of a battle. Like, we're talking Metal Gear Solid 3 sniper battle type of fight.
Yeah.
Or almost Metal Gear Solid 5, I guess, because, in a funny reversal of roles, Fang would be more like Quiet with just the sniping ability, and Whisper would be more like Snake and the ability to, snipe back or call in a supply drop and airstrike her with a crate full of stuff. All, Wispon form.
Snake. Man. Poor Knack / Fang. He's not even a sniper. He just has a little pop gun.
You have Fang looking down the scope going, what is she doing? And then all of a sudden just the blue cube drops on his head.
Oh, man. He wouldn't stand a chance. Let's be real. Let's be real. He is sniper in name only.
Sees her aiming back. She thinks she can snipe me. Wait, is that a rocket? Boom!
Yes. Does the announcer voice play every time she fires? the Sonic Colors announcer voice? I hope so.
No. You play against type there, and she just whispers it.
Oh, okay.
He sees her through the scope. That's not how you hold a sniper rifle, you idiot. Rocket.
No. Who is that?
Very, very, very quiet, very understated.
Mm-hmm. Who is that disembodied voice? We will never know.
Omo Chow's big brother. Giga Chow.
Giga Chow. And finally, our last question for this week comes to us courtesy of Flivers. Has any fan work influenced how you interpret a character? Similar to how your work with Bean and Bark changed how the whole fandom sees them nowadays, for example. I mean, you don't go out of your way to read fanfic or look at fan art much anymore, but
no, well, I mean,
it's kind of inevitable at some point you've seen something.
Well, like we were just talking about with Tangle and Whisper, they weren't meant to be a couple from the beginning, but there was so much fan feedback that they wanted to see that relationship grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, well, as soon as that option is on the table, I figure that's where we're going to go because that's where most people want to see it go. Until then, they're just, very, very, very good friends.
They were roommates.
Or, seeing people say that, fans of Cream saying that she gets the short end of the stick in the games and a lot of stories. We want to see her actually do something. So, because we didn't get a chance to use her in Revenge of Neo Metal, I figured, all right, let's actually show her off in the Metal Virus Saga. Give her some meaty moments to be heroic.
Yes.
Way, way, way back in the day, when I first got on the book, there were a lot of perceptions from the early fandom that came through. Like, nobody liked Drago because he was an idiot and a jerk. So I made him the running punching bag of the series. It's like, oh, here's this character nobody likes. There he got beat up. Ha ha. That's the joke. That's fine. Because everything needs a good jobber every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody hated Tommy before I got out of the book. Like, hated Tommy.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I made sure to blow him up real good. It's like, there you go. I remember as a fan amongst you how much we hated him, and now he's super dead. But unfortunately, he's also a little too redeemed, and now some of you want him to come back. It's like, no, did you not learn your lesson the first time?
Nope. Never learn. Oh, well.
And again, like way back in the early days, some complaints that the Sonic book didn't show a lot of Sonic material. So, I agreed with that and figured, let's inject a little more game canon into it. Let's make it feel more like the source material. So I wouldn't say fan work, because it's not like there was any fan fic or fan art or something that inspired, but it's more like feedback through the letters pages and whatnot that I do listen and read to when I can, and, try my best to go through everything and work with it.
Right.
There's no possible way to please everyone. I gave up on that a long time ago. I tried. I really did, but
how does one become fan thick? Oh, well. That's our last question this week. So, anyway, what do we got left, Ian? What do we got left to do? What's the one thing we need to do?
We need to give a big thank you to all the patrons and Ko-fi sponsors who make the show possible. We've only got 100 names this week.
Whee!
You people are awesome.
You people are amazing. Let's give us even more names. Let's make this segment last like 15 minutes every episode.
Well, if we do that, we're going to have to start printing them. I don't know if I can read that many without losing my voice.
Go ahead.
Anyway, big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Mike B., Coupland Crew 128, Do Is Diz Den, Sam already messing up and I'm 13 in, Diane W., Andrew D., Scruffy Matt, Dave M., Chris A., Salute Your Cat, Off, Sony, John M., J. Frost, Noni, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Jeb, Lisa M., Hero Flight 13, Chevelle, Ryan D., Piggy Bank, Blue Title Gamer, Tick Tick, Final Neil, Ben Wolfsbane, Jonathan D., Invade Turbo Tunas, Rachel W., Fiona M., Godzilla, Chaos, the Universe, Sonic Legacy, Dadler the Dalek, Daniel B., Fire Red XY, Sonic, PC the Unicorn, Red the Supernamic, Dove, Pandolce, Carlos, Joe S., Chad, Preston M., Jennifer H., Chico D., Alphamon or Yukin, Spark Z., Liz, Chase L., John the Real Luigi, Sapphire Scarletta, Ava Wolf, Noah S., Owen BD, Deltarune Jerry, Kojiro Highwind, Nemerk, Professor Rye, Red Wolf, Cameron H., Kimiko, Turbo, Callum Q., Crooker, Radry, Sandarani the Painter, Lewis J., Just a Mountain Soul, Alex the Border Collie, For Sonic Fan, In Zephyr, Maddie H., Techno Cinema, Scott Skunk, Solaris Stain, The Koi Boys, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Mini Hats, Cartographer 217, Joe Star SSB, and Wolfie Girly Wolf Girl.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for supporting us and helping us out and being there and being awesome, having fun.
Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you later for more BumbleKast.
All righty. Bye. Catch you later. Oh, apparently we're supposed to do it in a rap. Could say, our name is Kyle and Ian, and we're here to say thanks for supporting the BumbleKast in a major way. And then Ian could read the names and make sure they rhyme every couple of names. Wow. Everybody loves drawing Tangle and Whisper. I am glad. They are such good friends. Just gals being pals, you know? It's totally what friends do.
The bestest of friends.
The best friends. The friends you want. The friends you want. They were roommates. Roommates. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. All right, so in the chat going on right now, people are like, we never really have two friends being best of friends, two female characters being best of friends in Sonic. So now that we do, they automatically have to love each other.
Yeah, I know.
Look, Andrew, I get what you mean, sorta, but I mean, yeah.
It is something that I was resistant to initially. It's like, can they just not be friends? But honestly, the demand is there, and the
It works.
support for the couple it does work, and it's all wholesome stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and that's part of the reason why I was shifting towards Nicole and Shard, is because now originally I was thinking Nicole and Espio just did something fun, but people went hard on the Nicole and Shard stuff, and it was super wholesome. It's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. It's just, I don't know. So many times that relationships have been quote unquote forced. It's like, yeah, they do it all the time. It's like, why should the hetero couples be allowed to be the only ones who get a forced relationship?
I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I'm more amenable to the idea, is that we have built the foundation. We've seen their friendship grow, we've seen their trust grow. So okay, that we have shown why they work as a duo.
Absolutely,
they can have another aspect to it. That's fine by me.
Yeah, you've made it work. You've set up. You have the setup. Now you just have to be given the green light to make it go.
And
no, I know, I know, Andrew.
Then,
Don't worry.
it's fine. They work as friends too. So
yeah,